So whenever we try to learn a new language, we usually use Google Translate to translate some text and make it easy for us to understand. But what if I told that in this video, I will show you how you can build your own Google Translate app with FlutterFlow in just one video. So I hope you are excited for this one, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So before we get started, and as usual, we have to understand exactly what this all means. So here we have your app in FlutterFlow. So your app will actually be sending two important data, which are the tags and the language. So we actually send the text we want to translate and the language we want it to be translated to. All right. So here's what happens. So we go here. So this blue blue rectangle is Buildship. So inside of Buildship, we have an API, or a node that generates the token, because with Google APIs, you need a token all the time. And sometimes the token can change. So to be dynamic all the time, like every hour, your token will change. That's why we have a code to each time generate the token for you. So that's a node inside of Buildship. So after that node has generated the token, then it gives that token to Google Translation API. So Google APIs in general are different from your standard APIs, but in this video you will have a strong understanding when it comes to how to use them. So once you have got your token, then you can give it to the API. That API will first detect the language. So you don't need another API to find out what is the language of the inputted text. So the translation API will automatically detect the language and translate it and give you an output, which is the result. And that output will be then given back to the app. So we send the text and language, and we get back the translated text. And this is how the flow is. Like it's not something crazy. Generate the token, then gives you the API. The API will do the work and then return output, which then can be given back to the app. It is simple as it is. So with further ado, let's actually jump into the real tutorial. So when it comes to the APIs, we are going to be using Cloud Translation API. So this is Google Cloud API for translation. So when you click here on the documentation for the actual API, you will actually find that they have two REST APIs, which this is the version, which is version 3 beta 1. So we have a lot of APIs. The one that detects the language, which, as I told you, that we don't need. The one that gets the supported languages, I don't know what that actually means, but all we care about is the translate text. This one automatically turns any text, like it detects the language of your inputs. It's like this entire API is integrated right into it. And you might be asking, why do they have these? So some people, or in some use cases, they need the detect language API, but in our case we just need to stick to this one. That's all we need. So when you click there, actually you will see your endpoint. Oh, it's like in a regular API you need an endpoint, but you need one thing that's gonna make Google Cloud API sound difficult for some people, but I will make it easier for you. So here you have the endpoint, which is a post. So this is for the first time on this channel, we get to see another HTTP method other than the get. So now we are going to have post, and post has the body. So we don't have now parameters. Parameters are gone with the get method. Now we actually have to provide a body, and don't worry, because we're only going to care about the content, which is the text. So the content is the text, and it can be a list. So what's cool about this API is that it can actually translate more than one item. You can give it a list and it can translate that for you. And then of course you would definitely need the target language code. So you are now trying to translate a certain text. So you have to actually give like the language you want to translate to. All right, so you cannot just translate something to random. You have to specify what you want that text to be translated to. So this is like a small look at the API. As we need the content and the target language code. These are necessary, and we have actually we need to know them. So for now, we have had a look at the APIs we are going to be using right now. Let's actually get into the real stuff. So after we have taken a look at the real API, now we are going to actually go to Google Cloud. So go to Google Cloud Console and then create a new project. But if you are using, for example, Firebase, let's say you are using Firebase for your app or whatever, you can just create a new project here in Firebase, and that will create automatically a new project in Google Cloud Console. And since now I'm not gonna be using Firebase, I will create my account straight into Google Cloud. So let's actually call it, so we are going to start a new one. Click on new projects, and then you have to give it a name. So we are gonna have YouTube tutorials. All right, so now that we have our our project, we can click on create. So once you have created your account, this is exactly what you are gonna have. So right now we are going to go and actually enable the API. So you have a Google Cloud Console project, and you have to go to APIs and services and actually enable the API, because which you know, I think that any API you want to use inside of Google Cloud Console, you have to enable it first. All right, and you don't need an API key for that. So it's, as I told you, it's different. All right, so go to your libraries and just look at how big their library is. Like, we can do a lot of stuff. We can have YouTube reporting API, YouTube analytics API, YouTube data. We can have like just as much as we want. All right, so we can have a lot of things. Like anything related to Google is actually here. You can use it as an API. Like it's so I'm gonna be showing you exactly how to use this for translation. You can pretty much apply this to almost anything, AI or whatever. So let's actually go to Google Cloud Translation API. So when we click on it, you will see enable. So if you don't enable this particular API, then nothing will actually work for you. So click on enable, and then you will actually have to give it some time. So now that is actually being enabled. So now it is enabled. All right, so next time, like, you go to your libraries and then go to cloud translation, you see that she's enabled. You see the manage, all right, and all this stuff. So you don't need to actually see all of that. You can actually see the documentation, which we have already seen right there. So now make sure to please go create your Google Cloud Console and enable the Cloud Translation API. And next we're going to look at how you can use the service account. So back here in Google Cloud Console, you will see I am an admin. So please click on it, and then you want to go to service account. So let me close this, by the way. So we have so just search for service accounts. So service accounts are very essential, and if you have tried to deploy your app to Google Play Console, you have actually seen service accounts. So they are very, very important. So like, service accounts are what connects your external apps or stuff like that, or things to your Google Cloud. Like, they are the connection, so they connect. So we are going to go, like, this service account, you click on it, and then you call it translator. So why I call it translator is because this service account is going to be meant just for the API I have just enabled. That is it. Like, the translator, which means that it connects my app or my Buildship to this new API. All right, that's all it does. So let's click on creation, continue, and then we have to give it two roles. All right, the first one is that it has to be the reuser of the API system. Now it is called translator. So we have to search for the cloud translation API, and you see that it's cloud translation API user. So now it is called translator. It will be the user for that particular API. And then another role, which is going to be service. We can actually search for token creator. All right, no, token creator, which is this one. So this account will also be able to generate tokens. So which means that we can use some code that I showed you here. So this code will check actually this file from here and generate a token. Why should we use the token again? The token is required for translation API, and to be able to generate the code, you have just to add this second role. This is important. All right, so both of them are important. This gives this service account access to the API. This gives the service account the ability to generate tokens each time we make a request. So click on continue, and then click on done. That's all you have to do. So once you are done, click here and actually click on manage keys, and then you will need a new key here, and make sure it is JSON. Click on create and wait for a second, and it will actually be downloaded. So we will actually use this later. So now make sure to go here, set up your service account, and I will actually meet you inside of Buildship. So here we are inside of a Buildship, and we are going to click on create a new flow. Click on start from scratch, and then we are going to call it a translation translation. All right, click on create, and now we are going to create a new flow. Of course, like let's wait for the trigger later, but what we are going to be doing, so maybe we can actually do it. So the triggers should be a post. REST API is going to be a post. Or let's just click on connect. Then later we are going to go back to build, so we will have to wait for it to be connected. So here it is there. Now it is connected. Come back, and now as I told you, we have input. So let me go and show you. So the app will send what? It will send two things to this entire Buildship flow: the text and the language. So let's actually go and add them there. So click on the first one, is going to be text, and then another string, which is all right, language. So now we have given the input and we have given the trigger. So now it's time to talk about the custom node. What is that custom node? It is this one here. It's a piece of code that actually generates the token. So if you don't have the token, you won't be able to use the translation API. Just forget about it. All right, that's essential. So now, since now it is a custom code, we have to go with starter script, meaning we are going to give it a piece of code, and that's what will create the entire node. So let's actually give it a name. It's very important. So we call it generate access token. So the access token is required for any Google Cloud API to work. And keep in mind that if you want to actually, let's say, try another API, you can just, like, if you remember in the service account, you can just, instead of choosing the cloud translation API user, you can use, for example, another API and just make sure it is a user. You can use another service account for any API you want. So just change the API. That's all you need to do. All right. So you can use for any API, as I told you. So here we actually click here, and that's why you have to click on the link below, which will take you to my GitHub repository. So this repository is meant for all the YouTube codes. So we are going to go to the generate access token and then copy everything. Once you copy that, go back to Buildship, and then they will actually give you a code. So of course, I believe, like, we just click it here, right? So keep this in mind. Remove everything and paste the code you have copied. So that's all you have to do. Don't worry. But like, I forgot something, which is that you have to actually make sure that, like here, as you can see here, service account JSON is an input file. It's a file here. See here, it's a file. So not a string, nothing. It's a file. So go to inputs, and then here, as you can see here, like, so let's copy that. All right, that's the input. All right, so paste it there, and then paste it here as well. So it's JSON. And then the type should be file. Please, it's a file. If you miss this, then everything will be ruined. All right, it's a file. So click on. Then let's actually go back and go to the return value. So what does it return? So this returns only the access token, and let's call it access token. So the output should be the same. So access token. That's a string. So let's click on save. So now by doing this, we are now able to upload a certain so this was something I have uploaded before. So let me remove that, and then I will click on upload from device, and I will choose the key I have just generated a few minutes ago. So click there. That it will now just be uploaded to Buildship. It's like uploading media to FlutterFlow. So click on it, and then click on select file. All right. So now, whenever we build with Buildship, we have to test the actual node we are working on. So click on ship. So all right, and then we just need to wait for it for a couple of seconds. This will just be, kind of deploy things to the cloud. So click on test, but here select that node you want to test, or you can just click here. So it's the same. So then we can say test generate access token to see if it will actually generate a token. And here, see how long this token is, and you will see in the next part why it is important, because without this token, you will never be able to use any API. And keep in mind, please, that the service account key we have the key we have generated was meant for the translator. So you see here, like in the service account, the translator. All right, and when it comes to the All right, the roles that we have given it, or maybe let's say, right, so we can click on manage access. Right, so here the roles we have given it are, see here, it's only able to touch or connect with the Cloud Translation API user. If you want to still use the same account and the same key, but you want for another API, click here. Of course, enable your API like we did before and search for it here. Just make sure it is a user for that API. So just change it if you don't want to create a new account. So again, go to your service accounts, as you can see here, translator, then go to permission, manage access, change the API, make sure it is a user, or maybe sometimes you can use editor or admin or whatever, but user is more than enough. So now we've done with the custom node. Now let's talk about the real stuff, which is the body or the API node. So here we are back in the documentation of the Google Translation API, and I'm going to actually click on translate text because that's all I care about. So first of all, let me copy this endpoint. That is the endpoint. But notice that here we have to we have to say projects / and then we have to give the kind of the ID of our project. All right. So I'll go back to Buildship, and now we are going to close this and then click on create a new API call. And I like to call everything by their name. So we say, all right, translation API. All right. So the method is what they have actually said. It's a get, it's a post method. So let's actually click on the HTTP method post and the URL. We are going to paste that. But here's the thing. Notice what I'm gonna do. So right after the beta, I will say projects, and then I'm gonna say /. So after projects, I'm gonna go to Google here. So I will click on Google Cloud, and I will say make sure that I am on my projects, and here's the ID. Click on copy, go back to translation, click here, and right after the / after the projects, paste the ID. Then we have 2 dots, translate text. Sometimes it's going to be 2 dots, detect language, depending on the API, but we are only going to be using that one. So now we have given the endpoint, and this is the tricky part. So the authorization is, let's say you have, so it's bearer space token. All right, the token we have generation, that's where it gets used. So the authorization for Google API, Google Cloud APIs is different. So first of all, you have the word bearer space, go out, and then plus what? Plus this access token. All right. See here. All right. See here. It's, you know, you have to call it by the node, right? So here. So bearer space is very important, and then plus that. So bearer token. All right. So now that we have actually taken care of the authorization, again, keep in mind it's bearer space, then the access token. That's why we have all of this, is because this code can give us this token. And you may be asking yourself, hey, this should be consistent. No, like this will never be consistent. Every hour this will change, and this is why we have add this code. So whenever it changes, like this code will use the file, the key, to generate the access token, no matter when. Like, because if you keep it like static, if you go here and paste the token, after 1 hour it will change, and you will have to come here and change, which doesn't make sense. So just generate the key, give it to this code, and it will give you the token anytime you ask it. But now let's go to the body. All right, the body is let's actually go to the documentation. The body, as I told you, we need the content. So here is the thing, like the fields, which is hard, the body, as you can see here. We need content, which is required, and the target language code, which is required. All the others are optional. So we need, again, content, which can be a string, not all the time, but can be a string. So, and this is the target language code. So we need 2 fields. So here what we are going to do is that we are going to click on curly braces, and then we are going to specify the first one. Content is so what is content? Content is a string, as you can see here. All right, they have already written it between quotes there. All right, so what is the content? What is the text? The text is an input already, so we could say text. And then the second field, we add comma, and then we say target language. All right, language code. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. See language code, target language code. So then we add 2 dots, and we are gonna have length also as a variable, but variables cannot be put inside those quotes. All right, that's the body. Now we are like, since now here's a post, we need a body. We skip the parameters, but we need the body. We call it like the content and then the code of the language. And then when it comes to content type, we click here and say application JSON, and we click on this one true. And right now we are going to test the entire flow. But you may be asking, hey, why don't we just test this one? No, because this one is requiring what? Is requiring a token from this flow. So we might as well test everything. So click on shape changes, click on update. So it will take some time. All right, click on test and choose the flow. If you want to test the entire flow, let's actually provide some checks. Let's say hi world. So this API will detect the language on its own, and then the return value, like to which language we want to translate it to. We have, let's say, FR, all right, which is French. So let's click on test flow. Hopefully we will have no errors now. So now we have a problem, because we have a problem in the authentication, or in other words, the authorization. So, but let's actually go ahead and fix it. So now, since they are asking us that we have problem in authorization, so it seems like when we go to authorization in the editor, we have to just get rid of these quotes or plus. So in the authorization field, they don't work that way, but add a space. So just keep it bearer, and then you actually give the token you generated. So once you made those changes, make sure to click on ship changes. So it will take a few seconds. Now you can click on, all right, test flow with hello world and French. Now click on test flow, like so. Now that authentication error is gone, but they told us that, all right, so we have content. So we have a problem in field, like, so here they have said, all right, so we have set contents and then target language code. So where did we make the mistakes? Sorry, the mistake. All right, so here, so yes, here it is. So I said content, but here they said contents with no uppercase letter. So, all right, let's actually see S. All right, so now, all right, let's actually click on ship changes, update. So let's give it some time, and now let's click on test. Now click on test the entire flow with hello world and then French. And all right, so now we have 200, which is successful, and here we have Solitude Le Monde, which is, you know, a high world in French. So we can actually make it Arabic. Let's click on test flow again. See here, this is in Arabic. All right, and you see, as I told you, it detected the language on its own. All right, so let's actually try. All right, so we say French. So let's try something like join our community. So let's click on test flow. See, now the API is telling you to join the community. So please do us a favor and join our community in school. Use the link below. So this community is awesome, and we have a lot of people here just sharing their thoughts and ideas about FlutterFlow. So if you are using FlutterFlow and if you are learning this wonderful tool and you want to build great apps with this, so this is the right place for you to be. So it's an awesome tool, and for the first 300 people, they can join for completely free. So make sure to be one of those people. Hurry up right now and join using the link below. And of course, if you want to learn anything, you can find a FlutterFlow mastery list inside of our classroom tab, and you can pick any lesson that meets your level. If you are a beginner, start with this one, which is completely free, and if you feel like you are advanced or need something more about AI and API, just pick the right one you like. And I suggest always start from scratch so you can have the full system. So now here we are inside of FlutterFlow. We are gonna be building the app. So now we have just built the backend of our app, which is just the API. Now it's time for the real stuff. So I don't know how many times I said the real stuff in this video, but anyway. So now in this flow, we do the translation, we generate the token, we do everything. So we'll take this whole API and add it to our app. All right. So how we do this? We click on the REST API, we copy the link, and then we go to FlutterFlow and API call. So all right, sorry for that fast move. So let me delete that. Click on add a new call, and that's where we are gonna say translation. And here I will type in the link, but that's not it. That's not it. Sorry, we have to have the content type JSON. All right, so it's application JSON. So, and we don't need any authorization. As I told you, we are going to dedicate another video where we are going to be looking at how you can make your APIs in FlutterFlow or your flows inside of Buildship more secure. But right now, since there is no authorization, the API is just open for anyone to use. But now it's time to switch things to post. So why? Because like now we have a post API, and again, when you go to the classroom, when you go to the AI APIs, and if you pre-order it right now, this course will teach you everything. You know, you will understand in details what is get, post, patch, delete, anything. So now let's actually do it very quickly. So the post, like here, it's a post. So the post, like since you have an API that is a post, your entire API should be a post. Like we already did this here. So we have post, and whenever it comes to post, you don't have parameters, you have body. So what is the body? It is what we give to the API. So let's come back here, and some of you will confuse because here we said the body, but this is the body for this API. No, it's not what we should add, because this API is inside of our API. So we want the body for this entire flow. So where do you find the body? So it's the input again. All right. So if you are using a get method, if your REST API is get, then those inputs will become parameters. But if your REST API call is post, which is what we have now, this will not become parameters. They will become body. So it's very easy. As you can see here, get, we have parameters. Post, we have body. That's it. Like that's the only difference. So again, for every variable for every body field or parameter, we have to have variable for it. So here we have text and link. So here text, a string, and here we have link. All right. So now we have to create the same thing, but on the other side. This one's going to be all right. So now we have the variables. This is going to be a little bit different. So all right, the language, I haven't created that. Now we have two variables. So here's the body. Like, so it's the same way we have done before. So now since we have, as I told you, we have two fields. So we click here, we say text, two dots, and then we bring in this one here. And since we have now two, we say length, two dots, and then we bring this one here. That's it. And then we can click on the, sorry, it was just below me, it was add API call. So it was, and if you make some changes, you click on save. So now this is the body. Again, the body for this API, for our API, not this one. So our API requires text, and it makes sense because like we from this app, from FlutterFlow, we give the text and language. It moves here and then it moves here. All right. So here, as you can see, the body, like those inputs, which are the body of this API, are almost like they are the same here. All right. So again, the course explains a lot of things here if you have some confusion or anything. So right now, let's actually go ahead and click on response task, and then we include the text. So say hi, we'll say hello world, and then we click here and language to French, and then we click on just API call because we want some JSON files. So we have 200, and this is it. So let's actually try to extract this because that's the data we want from this entire JSON. So you see here, this is the JSON. Again, click here, say translated all right, text. So then again, click on save, and now you should actually be good to go. So now we can actually make this app work after we have added the API call. So first of all, here we have a field where people can enter data. Here we can select the language. So by the way, I have a list of languages here. So we have label. So the user will say English, Arabic, French, and stuff like that. And on the back end, because when you want to send data to this one, as you can see here, you see the language, we give it the code, not French, not something, we give it the code. That's why the data here, the values are codes, language codes, but what the user sees is a proper language name, not code. So, and here in this text, we will say, so right now, let's actually go ahead and add the API call. So first of all, we need a state. So we need a state right here. That is going to be the translated task to translate. So I don't think we need a state. So, all right. So this is going to be a bit difficult. But when you click here, so you cannot check it from the API directly. When you search API, you can't find it. So the problem to like this will be the result from the API, the JSON path we have just defined. So we better just have here, like, let's actually do the API call. So we say we search API call, and then we choose the one that we have. We say here, turn. So let's call just results. All right, results, and then with variable. So variable name, the text comes from the text field, and then the language comes from drop down. All right, so I want to have a small condition visibility here, a small condition action. So this condition will say so just so that we can actually make sure this API call will happen only if we have the text field and the drop down is something other than default. So click here. So all right, so is set. All right, so the text field is set because we need the text field, and the drop down, all right, is let's say is set. All right, so we need them both to be set. So if they are both set, we can just cut this and paste it here. So now we do the API call. If the API call was successful, so again, we have seen how we do this. We just say, all right, click here, succeed, click on confirm. Right. So if this one succeeded, then what do? We actually get the translated text to the stage. All right. Say all right, related text. So it's gonna be a. All right, click on confirm here. So now once you have a stage, you can come back here, and then once your API was successful, then you actually say page stage, click here, and then choose the stage, and then set the value to the return. All right, so here the result, API response. You can JSON body, predefined path, and here. All right, so now you have saved that in the stage. Make sure that this one, I will actually copy that. All right, so we click here, and we from the page stage, and the default. Sorry. All right, let's copy this one. Copy it, and after linking it to the stage of the page stage, these are just the default value. Instead, in case the stage was empty, so this will save things to the stage, and now we will actually show it here. But we still have a problem because, all right, stage is empty. So, all right, let's make it nullable. It actually can be a null. All right, now click on confirm. Now, I believe that we have done everything that we should be doing. So let's actually go ahead and put this one to the test. So now here we are in the test mode. Let's actually go ahead and see what's gonna happen. So hello world. All right, I made that mistake, but I will actually keep this one not set. So click there, nothing will happen because this one is not set. So let's choose Arabic, and then when I click here, so now you see that in Arabic. So say in all right, French. So that's gonna work. So we have German. All right, hello world. So, all right, so Italian. So Chiamondo. All right, that's fine. Chinese. So, all right, I can spell Chinese here. So Russia. All right, I can't spell that either. So it's working. It's working fine, like any translation app. So we have Holomondo, but I was actually thinking, why can't we just make this one like whenever you type, the API translates itself, like the app translates this on its own. So we go to the text field and we go here, open. So let's click here, cut all of that and then go to the text field. All right, so click here and on submit, not on change, just like the moment the user maybe it's just, let's try change, let's try. So all right, so here's the result. All right, so we changed from place to place, even still the same name, but we changed it. So we click here and we just say click here and then say JSON body. All right, no, succeeded. All right, we just do the same thing as before, it's nothing crazy. All right, so action output, results, and then right, JSON body, predefined paths, and only path we have defined. So I just want to see how it will work if we can just like type in and the app will just translate on its own. I just want to see how it works. I haven't tried before, so because I believe this is how Google Translate actually works. So it works the same. So let's actually try it. All right, so let's actually already give it a shot. So this does nothing here. So all right, so say hello world. All right, nothing happened now. So say English, say, see now it has translated my name. All right, you see here. All right, so it takes some time, but it's fine. Let's say French, my name is Mohammed. All right, so see, bonjour tout le monde. I don't know why we have a problem here in French, so I don't know. So all right, so it will take some time. So let's actually click there. Let's say my name is Mohammed, and see here, Holomondo, mi nombre is Mohammed. Anyway, so now we've made this work. So congratulations, you've built your own translation app using FlutterFlow. So you see here, it's not that hard, and and of course, please don't forget, before you leave this video, please make sure to use the link below to join our community inside of school. It's really an awesome place, and we're looking for people here just so we can join and have a community of people interested in FlutterFlow. So join it by clicking down below, of course, and for the first 300 people, as I told you, they can join for completely free. So if you join right now, even if the community become paid in the future, you will always be using it for free. So you have nothing to lose. Please join the community right now by clicking down below. And in case you have seen some problem like this, you just score is not available in your country, just use the extension like this one, VPN, and you can actually it's free, and just change your location to USA or any country you want, and you will actually be able to join the community. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you inside of our community.